Hello Lolas. Welcome back to my channel, guys. You guys know what to do. If you're not a subscriber, go ahead and subscribe now so that you can be a Lola too. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up and leave me a comment below. And all right, so let's get into it. So I have Ziggy here, and Ziggy is a full body silicone baby, poured in a soft blend. He does have a jelly belly, and he has armatures, full armatures in his arms, and he doesn't have anything in his legs. No drinking wet. He is sculpted, poured, and casted by Kathy Romero Biscotti from Silicone Studio, the number 2. And of course he's painted and being rooted by me. So the topic of today's discussion is, you know, trying to find what we really want, or, you know, the perfect baby. And keep in mind, when I say perfect is not a true thing. Like, it's not, you're not gonna find a perfect baby, like, like flawless. More of perfect for you, or what you're looking for, your main things. There are deal breakers for me, and I'm sure there's deal breakers for you. For some people, they have to have very immaculate, very precise rooting, a specific look, style, texture. Some people, it's the painting for them. Some people, they need both. Some people, you know, I can give a little bit on this, but not so much on that. Some people, when it comes to reborning, it is the texture of the baby that can break or make the baby. Some people like their babies a little shiny, some don't. Some with a little sheen, you know, some like them very dry looking, like really, really dry painting. I saw that style, and it's like been beautiful work, but it just doesn't look alive. It looks like a 3D painting that should be hung on the wall, if that makes sense. So everybody have a preference as well. Now, I'm very opinionated, and I like to add a little commentary into my, you know, chats and stuff. If you're easily offended, then I'm telling you right now, you're probably going to be in a hot mess by the end of the video. But I am a collector. I've been collecting for about these type, you know, reborn silicones. I've been collecting probably about 11, 12 years. I've been on YouTube for 10 of those years. And so I've seen a lot, and I've experienced a lot. And, you know, like many of the newer collectors, I went through a phase where I was just buying back to back. You know, I did have a particular style, though, that I liked, but I was buying from multiple artists and all that. And I think that's a good thing. Like, I think, to a certain extent, I think that, you know, the only way you're going to know for yourself is to experience it. So you know, I can't knock people that just buy. I know that there are some people that buy, you know, out of competitiveness, and they want to, you know, have the best, or they want to one up their home girl and all that. That's their business, and if that's what they want to do and they got the money to do it, you know, like the rappers say, it ain't tricking if you got it. So if they got it like that to spend, that's fine. I can't do that. I have, you know, real estate and you know, cars and family and, you know, tuitions and all that stuff to pay outside of my doll hobby. So I cannot, you know, just splurge to keep up with the Joneses. I just can't. So, and I don't do that. And I've never really been into that, but I did used to buy very expensive. I really did. And for a long time, I believed that I could only be happy with the very expensive. And it wasn't because of the price, but I like the sculpting, I like the this, I like that. And I also, if I'm really completely honest, and I know a lot of people get so and their feelings about this. But mostly the reason why I was drawn to the expensive is because it was very limited. And also because it was expensive, not as many people were going to have it. So you wasn't going to see, you know, the same exact baby every single place. You know, as you start to collect, you start to care less about some things, you know. And like I said, I started out where it was like I wanted, you know, a unique collection. I didn't want people to have the exact thing that I had. And you know, there's a part of me that the collector in me, I still do like very limited pieces. Those are pieces that I'm willing to pay more money for, like sold out editions and stuff like that. They hold more value to me. It just is what it is. But I also enjoy being able to have access to unlimited editions and stuff. I love the fact that, and this may not be beneficial to the seller, but for me, I love the fact that, okay, knowing that this is going to be available for months and months in, that I can be like, okay, I don't really have it this month in my budget to buy this sculpt, but it's unlimited, so I can come back and get it, you know, next month or the month out there, you know. I mean, every now and then you get unlucky and they're like, oh, well, we're discontinuing it, and then you're out of gas. So, I mean, but for the most part, that doesn't happen, especially with vinyl. And so I'm a collector of all things, and I'm a collector, you know, of both. I love unlimited. I love limited. I love to have something to myself, and I love things that me and my friends can share. You know, it's like for me, like the Billy sculpt. There's a lot of people bought Billy's sculpts. But for me, it's kind of exciting. You know, when I went to the doll show, I was so excited to see the different versions of the Billies on people's tables and stuff like that. It was really cool for me. You know, I have like people that have bought the sculpt from me, and I have people that are looking to have Billies, and I'm like, I love that we have like similar sculpts. It actually adds more to talk about, you know, conversation. You know, when we're buying clothes and, you know, and we getting certain things, are like, well, in that brand, what size are you buying your Billy? You know what I mean? Like, and so we can share those things. So don't ever get to a point to think that, you know, I'm so petty to the point that I don't want you to have the same sculpts as me. That's not what I'm saying. You know, I just think it's a bit weird when someone wants the exact thing. Like, if I put a birthmark on my baby, you want that same birthmark in the same place. Like, why? Like, you know what I mean? I don't know. It's kind of weird. Unless we're like really close friends and we're like twinning with our babies, it's kind of weird. So anyway, but when you're out here shopping and stuff, and I look to YouTube videos and stuff a lot just for, you know, just to see the sculpt. Even when it's a reborn, I want to see, you know, how the baby posed. You know, when the collector is dressing the baby, different angles, I like to see. Because when prototype artists in general do prototypes, they're really just showing off their fancy clothes, their fancy photography, the props, the outfits. The doll is really kind of lost in the sauce, if I be honest. Some of them, they're showing off their technique of their painting, and they're, you know, how beautiful they painted and how beautiful they rooted, but they don't focus on like, well, let me see what the feet look like, you know. You know, how's the feet, the you know, the toes, or, you know, the ankle bones, or, you know, what is it, you know. The details of the actual sculpt is not really highlighted in a lot of times in like prototype things. And even sculptors, when they show their babies and they do videos and stuff like that, because a lot of them don't even collect, a lot of them don't even like dolls, they don't show us what we're wanting to see, because they're not collectors, and so they don't know what we're looking for. And then also there's that thing in our head that's always in the back of our head, is that they're trying to get paid, so they're going to show it in the best light. They're not going to show it from a certain angle that's not flattering, because they don't want that to be highlighted, because they want to sell their doll or their sculpt or whatever. So, but when you go to collectors' videos or their photos, they're just having fun with their doll. They're not thinking about nothing else, and you're able to see like certain angles, like, oh, I don't like that sculpt from a certain angle. A prime example is there's a kit, oh my gosh, I can't think of the name, but there's a kit, and it looks really good from afar, and it looked really good in the prototype photos, but then I started seeing sculptors with it, and then, you know, from certain angles, the side profile and stuff like that, it didn't look good, and so I didn't buy it. A couple of my friends bought like prototypes, or they bought like, you know, really expensive versions of the kit, and they hated it when they got it, and they were so upset about it, because they like, dog, I wish I would have known it really looked like this in person. So that's why YouTubers are important, and content creators, Instagram, and even collectors play a big part in shopping. This video could be very long, because, you know, I'm just kind of giving you the backstory. Also, another thing that I think is a huge mistake that a lot of us make when we're first starting out is we don't know what part to take, and, you know, from what someone's saying to what part to leave. And also, I think we get fixated on one thing and we forget about everything else. Like, for instance, you know, you might have a influencer that really is big on like really soft silicone. Hence me. And I may go on and on about, oh my god, I love me some really soft silicone, blah 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 blah. So now in your mind you're thinking like, I just need to look for soft silicone. But there's a lot more to just soft silicone. I mean, you still want to have a nice structure to the body, the sculpting, the flow of the body, and the flow, you know, of the sculpt makes a difference. If it's very soft and it's like very noodly sculpting, it's gonna look so unrealistic. You're gonna be so disgusted. There's also, you know, certain features, like me personally, I like open hands. I don't mind a fist, but I don't, you know, just the ball fist is fine. But I usually like two fists or two open hands. I'm not really a big fan of one open, one closed, but it's what a lot of people do, because what does sculptors do? They're like, hey, let's please everybody. Let's give one of each. And, you know, and that's what they do. And, you know, that's fine. And I'm okay with it. And sometimes if the fists have movement, like if the fist is not just, if it's not bald and one just straight, like if the hand is kind of doing something, I don't know how to explain it, and then the other one is, you know, more open, it works. So it's all about flow. It's all about flow, of course. So, you know, and these are personal preferences. These are not the rules, you know. There's no rules to how you collect. It's all about what draws you in and what you're attracted to. So, you know, and then like some people are like, oh, I need a doll with armpits. No one does armpits. And it's like, you know, people get caught up on that. And it's like, so you go and you're looking for, okay, a doll can be horrific and have great armpits. What is that? It means zero. The whole point of why collectors start making a point about armpits is because back in the day, when silicones first came out and full bodies first came out, people would, let me take off his shirt for you guys so I can show you what I'm talking about. When people did full bodies, they used to have like the arm would be almost pretty much attached like to this. It would be like down. And so when you try to dress the baby, getting that shirt on was a challenge. And also it was easy for people to get rips and tears. Plus the silicone was a lot firmer back then. So because it was a lot firmer, it was just an easy way to end up getting a tear in the silicone. So like where he doesn't have like deeply indented armpits, he does have a dent enough to where also when I pick him up, I can go underneath his arms. You see what I'm saying? Like that. But back in the day, a lot of silicones they didn't have that. And so it was just awkward. It looked unnatural. And it was a huge pressure point for a rip or a tear. So that's where the whole armpit thing came into place for most of us. But when people, all it takes is for one person to mention it, and then it just becomes a big thing and everybody get fixated on it. It's like, I'm not going to pay you an extra $800 because your doll has these deep sunken in armpits. I'm not doing it. Like, I don't care. It's not that deep for me. My baby's going to have on a shirt. My baby's going to have on clothes, or even in a diaper and t-shirt. I'm not going to be fixated on armpits. So it's like you have that. Then you also have people with mouths. Inside the mouth, they want, the fancy schmancy. Well, here's the thing. Who's opening up the mouth all day long to take a picture? Are you going to be like this for your baby? And a lot of times when you're doing all this stuff, you're more room. People want to show off the mouth, and that's how they end up with rips and tears. Like, some of this stuff is like, it's a personal preference. It's great. It's fascinating. It's cute. It's nice if they have it. But for me, I love movable tongues. I won't lie. I like when the tongue kind of flip-flop in the mouth. I think it's cute, but in all honesty, it gets on my nerves. It get in the way when I'm trying to give it a pacifier or a bottle. You got to be careful not to, rip it, tear it. And, now we got the detachable tongues and more stuff for people to lose, tear. It just, I don't know. But that's a personal preference. You got to look at what you like. You got to look at what's important to you. You got to understand why it's important to you, because sometimes you're going to be paying for stuff that doesn't make sense. When Drinking Wets came out, I was excited about the Drinking Wets, and I wanted a Drinking Wet because we could do role play videos on YouTube, and we could show, their boy bits or their girl bits, and we could show them peeing. And it was like funny because, we could, little boys in real life, a lot of times when the wind hit their little weepy pee pee pee, they will spray you. And so, doing role play and changing a diaper, and I have a video like that, and I think it was Puck, and he like peed all in my face. Like, it was, and I know that might sound gross, but this happens in real life to mommies with little boys. You're changing a diaper and you can't get it done fast enough, and then they just and it's like all over the place, right? You got to change the sheets. You got to change their clothes. So, little girls do it too, but they don't spray, of course. So that was the whole fascination for it. And then I discovered, putting, warm water in the bottles, and once I did that, and the feeling of the warmness trickling down, it felt real, like they were peeing in their diaper. It was like a realism. But then I discovered that I don't even do the fake bottle feeds a whole lot. I try to do them like for videos on here, but if you notice, I do it for a few seconds and I'm like taking the bottle out. I'm like over it. So for me, I'm just like, why am I paying an extra $500 or $350 for a Drinking Wet when I'm not going to really use it? So, plus I like the idea of seeing the fake formula in the bottle, and with the Drinking Wet, you can only feed them water, so it just doesn't do it for me. I did, discover some bottles that like kind of hides what's in the bottle, so you don't see that it's water, which is nice for drinking wets, just FYI. And I think those will be great for people that want to, you know, give that look but not really show that it's water. But I still actually like seeing the milk. I like seeing the milk. I like seeing it and it looking like the baby's drinking. It's just a thing for me. It's just a personal thing. But I understand. Like I tell people all the time, a lot of stuff you have to experience for yourself in order to really understand it. And that takes me into the other thing. Knowing if you want a baby that's super soft, or, you know, just soft, or marshmallow, or, you know, armatures or not armatures, is also a thing of experience. I can sit here all day and tell you what I like, but when you get it, it might not be your thing. And some people don't understand it until they actually experience it. I was talking to a customer the other day, and I was telling them how, you know, the really soft, like Jonah, is really, really nice for posing as well. And the cuddle factor is not so much of the look. You can get the look out of all of the babies, but when I go to pose Jonah poses so with ease, and it's so many little ways that he can go. Now, the more realistic the sculpting is on top of that is like heaven. But that's, you know, that's me, because I like to pose my babies a lot. I like to take pictures. I like to walk in my room. When I'm not on camera, I like my babies to be very posed, and I like to just look at them in their posed positions. So it's important to me. It may not be important to other people, but I say that, and then people think, oh my gosh, I gotta get like marshmallow, I gotta get super soft. No. So, I mean, like, Ziggy is not as soft as Jonah. He's not. But he has like his jelly belly. And even without the jelly belly, because I have one that I haven't painted yet, my girl, and she doesn't have a jelly belly, but she's so soft, her belly feels almost as soft as his jelly belly. So it's pretty cool. But the thing about these babies is, like this pour, I really like, and I'll be honest, so the neck, you know, it falls back really nicely. Like if I take the head, I'm not worried about it like falling off or anything. But at the same time, it has just enough softness to where it's really, really soft. Like he's really, really soft. But he has enough give till he feels like real baby, like limbs. So like I get when people are like, oh, you know, the firmness where the baby is not like falling like a noodle. If I'm completely honest, like he still have like, I kind of get confused. I'm kind of conflicted on which one. Like Jonah in the core and like the feel of his silicone gives a realistic feel, but then this silicone feels, when I go to pick him up and stuff like that, it's just, it gives you that, I don't know, it's like it gives you a little bit of more realism too. So either or is good, because they're not firm. Neither one of them are firm. Like this baby is good and soft, and then the other baby is soft. It's not like I said, it's not like a marshmallow, but it's, you know, it's a really good, nice consistency. So he's, you know, like he's about as soft as Vegas. So that's a good consistency. But again, you know, you'll hear a lot of people go on and on about marshmallow blend and all this. And so you go killing yourself and paying like top dollar for something that really, to be honest, if you got super soft versus the marshmallow. And like, okay, let me give another example. I've had Maria Grover pour in super soft, and I've had her marshmallow. The super soft is so soft. It it feels as soft as the marshmallow, but there's a different feeling. Like, I don't know how to say it. Like, it's as soft, but the way it feels is different. Like, one might be more like, have more bounce to it. The other one, you know, kind of go in and come back out. But they're both like almost the same level of softness. So it's just, it's like I said, it's something you have to, sometimes you just have to experience it. Or if you find something that you like and you know that you like it, then that's what you like. And I don't know, for me, sometimes, you know, I just like a variety too. So I'll like a little mix. I like my babies, the ones that are like jello-y soft, and then I like the ones that's not so jello-y soft. For me, I enjoy dressing both. I'm very comfortable with interacting with both. I don't feel like one is more riskier than the other. So, you know, it's just me. Now, painting, when it comes to painting, that's a whole nother story. When it comes to, the softer it is, the more challenging it is to paint with silicone. I will say that. And I mean, it goes on the same as just managing the silicone. So that's the key, you know, trying to manage the silicone on this like really, really tacky mush baby. I don't know. So anyway, shopping can be very, 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 very time consuming. I don't think that one should just run out and just jump in a purchase if they're new to the hobby. I think you should do research. I think you should look around. I think you should explore and then buy. But I mean, if you got it like that and you want to just jump out there, jump out there. Let me do a part 2 of this video because this is very long.